What's up, y'all? I just went check out the Supergirl movie, and I'm highly disappointed. My disappointment comes from the hate that this movie is getting. It's really totally unnecessary. It's the same thing that happened with Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel didn't get as much. Uh, the Marvels, She-Hulk. These ladies become outspoken, and then all of a sudden, it's like total man hate. And unfortunately, after the man hate, the women come right behind and do the same thing. Unbelievable. But I'm going to leave that right there and let's talk about the movie. So I went to, when I heard that this movie was coming out and it was going to follow the uh, Woman of Tomorrow storyline, I went out and looked for the book. Found the book and read it and found the story to be quite entertaining. So I think they did a very fine job on the adaptation of what we got from the book into the movie. What I will say is, I think by picking that movie, I think that may have been a little much as a introduction as to who Supergirl was going to be to the DCU. Because that was a story that you had to follow along, and like I said, it was a very slow burn. There was a story in the story. You learned about Kara, you learned about uh, Ruthie, you found out about who Clem was, and what he was to the galaxy. Okay, I think this movie really, through its flashbacks, really did a good job on letting us know where Carol was coming from, her backstory, what led her to where she is now. A lot of people seem to think that, she's running around just being drunk. She's a drunkard, she's this, she's that. That's not the impression that I got from the whole bar scene and all that. It was her birthday. It was her birthday. Yes, she has been through some things, but I think coming up through her teen years, or on Earth teen years, because Krypton and where she was from after Krypton was actually the years made her. She was actually older than Clark, but you wouldn't know that because when she came to Earth, I believe she became younger than Clark. Hence, Supergirl, not Superwoman. But I think she went through all that, and I think she was just out celebrating her part, celebrating her birthday, and that's what that entailed. We learned about her dealing with the heartbreak and dealing with the separation from her family through the flashbacks. I don't believe that what we got with her in the bar scene and all of that was so much her still dealing with that. She will always deal with it to some degree, but I don't think she was in the depths of, oh my gosh, I'm drunkard. I'm going to go drink myself into a binge because of what has happened to me. I think she's moved on beyond that. Just so happened that's where the story started to take place when Ruthie came across her and Ruthie crossed paths. But they did a fine job on the flashbacks, on letting us know her story. They did a fine job on her dealing with Ruthie and trying to get Ruthie to understand that yes, you are bitter. Yes, you want revenge, but you will only make things worse for yourself in how you deal with the aftermath of what you do if you kill this man. Okay? She did the same thing in the book. She did the same thing in this movie. And then the battles when she was on that planet where she almost passed, where she almost died when she was in the cave, just trying to get through the the green sunrise, sunset. A little bit more happened in the book because they could do that in a book. You always get a little more in a book than you're going to get in the story. Yeah, that's what happens, people. If you read books outside of, just watching a movie, I think you'll get that. And I don't want to do the diss. I don't want to do the pointing fingers. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to talk about how much I enjoyed this movie. I thought he did a fine job, and I hope going forward that this will continue to be our Supergirl. I think she fits the mold perfect. Her, and we've established some ground between with her and Clark Kent and Superman, and then we have Man of Tomorrow coming. I know she will, be a part of that, and we have some other cameos coming. So I think she fits the Supergirl part rather well. What she does outside of her acting and making her movies, people, we need to just get away from that. But I said I was going to stay away from that. So I also enjoyed the battle scenes, the fight scenes, her in space, her being, when she was in her weakened state, when she was on the red sun planet, then her getting that yellow sun glow, and then the final battle scenes. Oh my goodness, how could you not like those battle scenes? Those battle scenes were great. And then we all knew, if you read the book, you knew what was going to come at the end. We knew she was going to do that. I was surprised that they did that and that they showed it happen. I was like, whoa. Kudos to them for doing that. I'm trying to remember, was it rated R or was it rated PG? There wasn't a lot of bloodshed, but, there was a lot of kick and tail. There wasn't a bloodshed. So the stabbing, but that was a pretty brutal stabbing. Yes. And the fact that at the end of the movie she asked Ruthie, "Hey, can you disappear for a few days?" And I never got a chance to finish celebrating my birthday. She's not going to take that little 13-year-old girl to celebrate with her and go to get drunk. So Ruthie did her some good, as well as I believe she did Ruthie some good. They got rid of the menace of the galaxy, and hey, it was what it was. I don't know, was it a perfect movie? No. Did it do what it needed to do? Yes. Yes. If you read the book, you would know it did what it needed to do. It did its job. It did its job. So, hey, nice job, Millie Adcock. Nice job, James Gunn. Nice job, whoever else is involved. It's a good job. I gave this movie a 7. Looking forward to the next appearance of Supergirl in the new DCU. Let's go. Let's go.